bad boys from the NFL are here. Your 2024 Detroit Lions are the hardest hitting, highest flying, trickiest playing, grittiest team in the NFL.
A dominant team.
Get all your coverage of your favorite team right here in your favorite network. Woodward Sports.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Woodward Sports Pregame Show, and we are live at Second Best down here in downtown Detroit, just a couple blocks away from LCA. Brought to you by New Holland Brewing Cup. That was elite timing.
Brady is
elite timing, Brady. That was elite timing. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah, and by this guy, Taller. That's right, the Dutch long drink from New Holland Brewing Company. Also brought to you by Tullamore Irish Whiskey. I see the bottles over there of that also. And if you're on your way down, stop off at Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Tell them Woodward Sports, and you were checking in Clawson on East 14 Mile. My name is Neil Rule. That guy, Sean Belizean, Heisman voter. Please direct all your anger to Sean Belizean. He is well received of it. So, Sean, what's up, man?
Hunter, that was a no-brainer. I don't know how anybody could argue. Now I can talk about it. Hunter. Period. End of story. And you know what? I'm going to use Neil Rule logic.
Thank you.
Okay?
Can you talk to my wife?
What Travis Hunter did was generational. I've seen years like Genty, and I'm not being disrespectful to it. It's still a fantastic year. I've seen years like Genty many times over. We'll probably see it next year. We'll probably see it the year after. What he did doesn't happen. To do it that way and be exceptional on both sides of the ball, it was a no-brainer. If anything, I was surprised it was so close.
And
that's
fair.
it. I know we're going to talk about the Lions, but
yes.
That was to me that was no-brainer. I was surprised it was so close.
I kind of was too, but anyway, though, we do move on. We'll talk about tomorrow on Big D Energy. We'll get into
Sounds
it.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely. We will be doing that. Sean will be with me tomorrow. We got Pete Spivak in the house.
Good
Peter,
afternoon, boys. How are you, boys?
Hello, Pete.
Good afternoon. Good morning, I should say.
Good morning.
Happy Lions game day. Wearing the black and blues today.
That is right. It is
Rock
the
and roll.
blackout today. We got JB Smoove in the house as well.
What up?
He's mixing and scratching. That's our guy also. Jump into that Woodward Sports chat thread. Subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Just about ready to clip 75,000 of you
Nice.
in there as well. But we're getting into it. Brian Ruth, the what up, though? We going over 200 on the ground today. Brian, I like that take because it is about time that this Lions team busted out just in terms of the ground, like a dynamic ground game. We'll get there. But JB Smoove, we are here at Second Best, and we know it's 10 a.m. for a 4 o'clock game. But make no mistake, JB Smoove, the people are mobilizing downtown. They are making their way downtown. The tailgating crew, Sean, I passed them on the way to Second Best down here. They are getting out ready. And look, it's rainy, and it's chilly. But, Sean, that does not matter here today. It's the blackout. It's go time. It's Lions-Bills.
This is awesome in so many different ways, and I am an absolute cheeseball in this regard, okay? You can call me Gouda. There is something about being downtown this time of year, man. You see the lights up. You see the holly. You see the cheer. Whatever the case may be, there is something just magical about being in the D this time of year, and I think the city does such a good job of celebrating the whole 'tis the season vibe. And guys, this is yet another one of those pinch me moments because
Yes.
Lions-Bills is the game today. Period.
Make
End
no
of
mistake.
story.
Right.
Everybody's talking about it. You see all the shows nationally talking about it, and it's legit. It's absolute legit chatter about this game, and I can't help but think back a couple of years ago because I'm gonna be a man about it, okay? I don't care. I know everybody and their brother believed in the Lions for the last 3 years and all that stuff. A couple of years ago, Thanksgiving, I'm gonna call me out. You know what? I was like, all right, Lions, you got a chance to prove to me that what I've seen the last few weeks is legit. You beat Josh Allen and the Bills, and I might start buying in. And that game to me, Neil, was Josh Allen dangling the carrot like for 60 minutes, and they go, oh, you baby want to go, oh, my baby almost got the carrot that time. You know, and they ended up winning the freaking
I got
game.
$1 for you.
Yeah, and then you know what and then as soon as the game was over, I was done with the moral victories at that point in time in my life. I kind of sat back on, as I suspected. So, listen, I openly admit it, I wasn't bought in yet. And I can't blame anybody. If you weren't bought in yet, how can we blame you? You grew up a Lion fan. You know, how many times did we think, okay, we're on the verge of something real. We're on the verge of real legitimacy and everything. So, and Neil, that sticks in my head. What Josh Allen did a couple years ago sticks in my head. What the Buffalo Bills did a couple years ago sticks in my head. And as fate would have it, I mean, you could say that legitimately that game may have just cost them a playoff berth a year early. But this team is different. The Bills are still one of the best. You have to give them. But the Lions are the best. The Lions are the best team in the NFL today, so go out and show it at Ford Field.
That's it. And look, Sean, like this is the part of the we kind of open up with the vibes, right? And that's I send the tailgate guys coming down and stuff like that. You know, it's a slow beginning here, but remember, we're 6 hours from game time, and you know they open up at 10 a.m. here at Second Best. Great spot, by the way. If you guys haven't been down here, put this spot in your rotation. I'm not just talking about Lions games. They're couple blocks away from LCA. If you're going to Fox Theater for a concert, it needs to be a part of your Detroit scene all year long, like calendar year round. They're in here. Wings are elite. Chicken sandwich is elite. They have taller, by the way. So everything you need is right here.
And bubble
at
hockey.
Second Best. They got a bubble hockey game. Is it still taped off from the murder scene?
I'm sure it is. But
I know the police were investigating a murder the last time I
Poor
played.
Chase is still limping from that. I saw Chase limping, and then he started to quiver
Bubble
when he walked by the hockey bubble
he
machine.
did. I don't know if the caution tape is still over there or not. Okay, you know what? Then let's just cut the shit and get to it, okay? It's time for the vibes. And, Sean, I got 100 different angles that I could go that doesn't even involve the game.
Let's go.
It's the philosophy of the game. It's the concept of the game. But, again, if you ask for it, I didn't even ask for it, but you'll get it here. That's why I do love our chat. I do. We have the best listeners in all of Detroit sports media.
True story.
You're not 88 years old calling in, putting your teeth in, talking. We're firing. We're moving at a quick pace here. That's what we're doing here. But Scott Bellagio in the chat, will the Lions choke? And I had a different way I wanted to go. But, Sean, let's get into it. Every week we shake a contingent of that. But there are still Scott Bellagios out there. Sean, there are. And I can't understand why, but I've given up the fight on it. There just are, and they're like leaves in the autumn. The tree just has to shake them all until they're gone.
Do you know what it is? It is like
I'm on my analogy game today.
That was pretty good. But you know what it is? It's like the reverse 2 years ago now. To me, it was back then, whether we want to admit it or not. Now, I know you're the biggest, baddest Lion fan and all that. A lot of us were doubtful of this football team, and rightfully so, okay? Because what had they done up to that point to earn our trust? What had they done, right? And we could go back in the Wayback Time Machine. Remember when they did this? Remember when they did that? And even if you remember, one of those games that I still don't like to think about was the Christmas Eve game against Carolina. You had an opportunity, and you let that opportunity get away, and they ran all over you, okay? Now it's the reverse. We've done a 180. I mean, literally, somebody presented the Uno reverse card, and it has completely reversed itself. Based on what? Why would I believe that the Lions are going to choke? Now the onus is on you. Now you have to tell me why. And you can't use what happened 3 years ago or 2 years ago, because this team now has carved its own path, okay? That team was tethered to the past. Whether we want to admit it or not, they were. The Lions are the Lions until they prove otherwise, okay? Well, let's go down the checklist, okay? They won the division last year. They won 2 playoff games. They're number 1 in the National Football League right now. That's not the Lions. You cannot say that. No possible way can you say that. So now the impetus is on you. Why would I believe that the Lions are going to suddenly be something different than that which we've seen over the past 2 years? Why would I believe that? Good luck with that, because I had to fight the fight the other way. I had to tell you that the exception was now the rule, and it's very difficult to do that. Very, very difficult to do that. Right now, the impetus. Who was that?
Scott Bellagio.
Scott Bellagio. God bless you. Explain to me why Neil, Sean, the boys here, or anybody should think that the Lions are in a position to choke. And before you do it, you have to use something pre-2023. Good luck with that.
Burn in the chat. Big Z about to eat now has a near full power defensive line. If he can sack Lamar, he can sack Josh. And look, Pete Spivak will get us at. Or actually, no, we won't. Right? We won't.
Yeah,
we
I won't have the
them.
official.
That's right.
Yeah.
We won't have the officials, but we'll go through it as well. Reaction to the Heisman thing. Nicholas Earl. Hunter isn't at top of any position. Genty was the best running back in college this year. Two things, Nicholas Earl. Two things, and then we're going to move on from this. All right, not at the top of any position, yet won the Biletnikoff Award and the Defensive Back Award. Genty was best running back in college this year. Okay, Nicholas Earl, and I'm going to go Sean Belizean. I like how we do this.
All right.
Then tell me, Nicholas Earl, where are you with Nick Nash, who won the receiving Triple Crown? Oh, you don't even know who he is, do you? That's my point. All right, moving on. Dad with Tourette's. Only one wide receiver had 90 catches and 1,000 yards. Not a single offensive player had 30-plus tackles, 4 picks, 11 pass breakups. And, oh, by the way, played 125 snaps a game. And, oh, by the way, went to a program that was 1-11 2 years ago. All right. Anyway, okay, that's it. We're done with that. Tomorrow, that's the Heisman stuff. Sean's a voter. We will definitely get into it. No, but we are doing it here. Okay, Sean. So you kind of laid that to rest. Mm-hmm. All right, and that's cool. For me with this game, and this is the biggest storyline by far. And Sean, we could do the 2 hours, I think, on this following sentence right here. Sean, we've been playing with our food for a little bit here. As Lions fans, it was cute. The Packers, they were, little Packers. Oh, Jordan Love, you're so cute. It was cute. We were hurt, and there were storylines and stuff. But, Sean, today's game, this game, and no, it's not a choke if they lose. They're 12-1, all right? We're not talking about chokes. But I will say this, Sean. If they win this game today, there are no other questions to ask. And I'm not saying it's an end-all, be-all. And I'm not saying I base my opinion on their ability to win the Super Bowl based on what happens today. However, if they win, Sean, I think that we don't even fully comprehend where we're going to go to as fans, as far as the level we're going to go to as fans. Because if they win today and they beat Josh Allen, and God forbid it's a double-digit win or something like that, then, Sean, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it right now because it is real as it's ever been. And I'm talking the whole fucking thing is as real as it's ever been if they win this football game today. Because what's your question? What's your question? You can't say big, scary Josh Allen or, any of those quarterbacks. You can't say that. The Buffalo Bills, that offense, and the Lions deep, like we're pre-trained to think that the Lions secondary is still bad. If they do this today, Sean, it is real. It is real, and it's got a great likelihood of happening, and we all need to fully comprehend and fully understand what this is and you can't even hide behind the Ford Field thing because guess what? If they win today and they win out, everybody's coming here.
Yep.
That's Sean. Do you understand what I'm saying here?
And I'll tell you what.
And I don't think we realize. Do we realize it?
Hardly anybody had Neil Rule to be the guy to drop the first F-bomb this show. I mean, that's hard.
Plus
smart
450.
Money. It was all on me. Yeah. I'm the guy. Fuck. But listen, all jokes aside, Neil, you're 100% right. Now, I don't want anybody to call me out. I have been the guy for almost 12 months now that has said the ultimate success or failure of this season is what they do at playoff time. Okay? The regular season doesn't matter. I know people still don't want to hear that. The regular season doesn't matter. If this team finds a way to matriculate their way through the NFC and punch their ticket to New Orleans, that's what matters. It's all about taking the next step and getting to the Super Bowl. But, Neil, this is where you and I talked about this on Big D a couple weeks ago. Sometimes you need to take a stop and smell the roses moment. this season could be historic. This could be a 16-1 season, okay? Legitimately. And when you're talking about greats in the National Football League, okay, think about, well, how many teams have gone 15-1, let alone 16-1, okay? These are conversations we have to start having.
This is on the horizon,
right?
Sean. Like, it's there.
And here's it, like, that last game of the year might actually mean something, too. In a perfect world, it doesn't mean anything, and you can have a couple weeks to get yourself right and be prepared to host that first playoff game. But, hey, fellas, that last game of the week against Minnesota might mean something, okay, whenever it is eventually played. And you have to keep the pedal to the metal, and you have to knock off the Vikings to clinch, not only the North, but to get that home field advantage. It's there right now. It's right up on the counter, and all you have to do is reach out and grab it. And that starts today. You have to knock off the Buffalo Bills today. Now again, if they lose today, if they mix in the loss today, all the other goals are still in place. They can still win the North. They can still win the NFC, et cetera, et cetera. But, guys, we're in historic conversation. The 2024 Lions are now in that historic conversation. We were talking about something before the show started, like Mark Rippon and the 1991 Redskins, right? But that was a historic team. They really were. They were a historic team, and nobody saw that coming. And, when you talk about great teams, they didn't have a long shelf life. I mean, their shelf life was basically 1 year, let's be honest. But you know what? That was a wagon. They were a fucking wagon. And the Detroit Lions, while I feel the shelf life is bigger, and it already has been bigger when you look at what transpired last year, Neil, now we're in that historic conversation, and that's pretty stinking cool.
No, absolutely. Woodward Sports chat thread, jump into there, get your thoughts out there. And again, I know everyone wants to do X's and O's and keep their offense off the field and all that kind of stuff. I'm more interested in the grand scheme here. And I do think that there is another couple levels where this can go to in this town. And I'm talking about Lions Mania. And I think you blow the top off the first one here. If they win this today, then it's real. Then it's Josh Allen's to bed. You beat the Bills. The game of the week. Tickets are $600 to walk in the door to sit up in the top. JB Smooth shaking his head. It's unbelievable where we're at. And that's a precursor to it. Now imagine you go win that game. Imagine you win that game. And then we go on with it. Taylor Frazee, as a Navy veteran, go Navy. CT Squid, go Navy, beat Army. Yep, my Army guys. Navy ran it to a T.
Yes.
Army got their second possession into the second quarter. Like, they went down and scored, and that's a Service Academy football, and they flipped the tables, and they just leaned on Army. And you put Army, like Bryson Daly's great. I mean, he's not he's not going to sling it. He's not Cam Ward slinging the football. You put him in a hole, and everything gets uncomfortable, Sean. It just gets uncomfortable. Then you score again. Now it's real uncomfortable, and that is a way. But, hey, America won. That's the biggest thing. When Army plays Navy, we know America's going to win. That's it. And Navy can give Army a ride to the next war. So that's all right. We're in there. Jack, Bills have beaten the Lions 4 straight, including Thanksgiving Day. They need to beat this team. I don't know, like, and it's going to sound like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, Sean, because I just hype all that up and I get goosebumps talking about it. But at the same time, this is one of those weird spots in an NFL season where, Sean, it is truly a free roll. Because if the Lions lose, nothing changes.
No, it doesn't.
They still control their fate. And I know that's going to be a tough concept for everybody to wrap their head around, but it is an AFC game. And it is of no consequence because then the Lions would have 2 losses, like Philly, like Minnesota, but all the tiebreakers. So it makes no difference. And that's why I kind of like today, too, as a spot.
Well, and let's face it, I think this is a team that lives off of the disrespect and lives off of the chatter as well. I mean, they know what people will say. They'll say the same things like, who was the guy earlier? Scott MGM? What was his name? Scott?
Bellagio.
Oh, MGM.
Scott Desert Sands.
Mandalay Bay.
Yeah.
Scott Mandalay Bay was in here, and he, like, listen, they know that people out there exist, and they know that national pundits are waiting to jump on them and go, I told you about that Lions team. I told you. Go out there and take care of it. You're better than the Buffalo Bills. I don't have any qualm or hesitation saying that. You're better than the Buffalo Bills. You're at Ford Field, which is arguably one of the greatest home advantages. Go do what you do. Go do what you've done a majority of the season, an overwhelming majority of the season. Go out there and beat them. And I don't care how it happens. I'll go all Malcolm X on you by any means necessary. I don't care if it's 3. I don't care if it's 22. I don't care if I caught this and spilled half of it in my crotch.
I'll get another one.
I'll get another one, damn it.
Go get another one, dude.
Can you get a live shot at my crotch right now? No, I don't think anybody wants to see that.
The zoom's not good on the
I
camera,
don't think anybody wants to see that right now.
I'm not going to pan the camera down.
No, you don't need that. You don't need that.
Not going to do it.
Oh, man. No, it is. I don't know where to go from that. I actually don't. So I'll just reset it and say jump into the Woodward Sports chat thread and get your thoughts in there. Brian Ruth, Bill's going to wish they had Jim Kelly and not Josh Allen by 8 o'clock tonight. More on Jim Kelly later, by the way, in the flashback machine. No, but we're going to play the hits for you guys. You know how we do it. We'll be taking your thoughts. We'll take a spin around the NFC North. I have some thoughts on the Monday night game that we'll get to.
I have some thoughts on America. If you can give me a second to talk about America during the show.
The good thing about the 4 o'clock game is it does free you up for 1 o'clock football activities that may or may not include Jameis Winston, America's quarterback. We'll get there.
I love America.
We'll get there. We got Pete's Props Parlay.
Yes, sir.
He will get it in there to you as well. Maybe some fantasy advice. Also, too, we're about that action, Sean, and I will have a pick for you for the game. And I'll tell you all right, my pick involves Monday night, and I'm standing on it. 100% standing on it. And that's what it's going to be. We'll have our Lions opponent flashback as well. But get into here and get your shit off, as the esteemed KG would say. Eric Allen in the chat, go Lions. Tabitha Gable, Josh Allen to J. Curb all afternoon. And you know what, Sean? If you do want an X and O thing, I love this as spots when guys have gone against their resume. And Josh Allen, in terms of turning the football over, has gone against his resume this season.
Give him his love. He really has.
100%. However, when it's all said and done for an entire year, do people tend to be closer to that resume or further away from that resume?
Eventually, water finds its level. It just does. I know that and some people might say that it's the next step in his progression. You guys know me. I'm sorry if you've watched me here. I love Josh Allen. I think he's electric. I think he's fun. And part of the reason I love Josh Allen is because you had all those quote-unquote experts tell you that some guy from Wyoming isn't supposed to do the things that he's done. And I love that. I love when they show people wrong, okay? But at the same time, Neil, he's got his limitations. He put the impetus this year on limiting the mistakes. He knew that he cost him and the team last year. Eventually, I'm not saying it's going to get as bad as it was last year, and it was pretty bad last year. But water starts to find its level. You start to see the numbers kind of creep back to the mean, so to speak.
And when do turnovers happen typically? At home or on the road?
I've been told on the road.
You see where I'm going with this here,
yes,
Sean?
I do.
One is loading tonight. Woodward Sports chat thread. And some people in the chat, too, are getting down on it. Dad with Tourette's. Lions outright under the game total. Gibbs and Monty, anytime touchdown. Allen 1+ interception equals dollars. I'm definitely with you on the interception tree. Definitely with you on that as well. Yes. Scott Bellagio never said they would choke. No, Scott, that's exactly what you said. That's exactly what you said, Scott. I can only go by what you say. Scott Bellagio jumped in.
Flamingo?
Old school. I said that they would lose today based on injuries. No, you said, will this be the day that the Lions choke?
Yes. That was
did I not read that?
No, that was a direct quote.
That's a direct quote.
It was.
So, Scott, you did. It's there if you want to go back in the annals and look at it. So, but But yeah, it is that for me, Sean, and it is very simple, and certainly too. We'll talk about the health, but let's do this, JB. Let's take the first break, and then when we come back, we'll take a spin around the NFC North and the league, and I do want to get into the health of the Lions as well. So, Peter, I'll lean on you a little bit for that.
Sounds good.
You give me the injury, the word on the street, dude.
My pleasure.
As we get things ready to rock. Where am I going with this, JB? What's that? Taller? New Holland Brewing, taller, the Dutch long drink. Elite.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go!
Get energized for the holidays during the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Now through December 20th, join for $1 down, $15 a month. And recharge this holiday season and beyond in the clean and spacious judgment-free zone, filled with equipment for every workout. Stay motivated with free fitness training and lots more. Celebrate the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Join for $1 down, $15 a month. Hurry! Offer ends December 20th.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Oh, yeah, everybody. We are live here at the Second Best Bar located at 42 Watson Street, Randy Watson Street in Detroit. And you can come join us right now. We are live here for the Lions pregame show. Come enjoy some smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while catching the great Sean Baligian and Neil Rule here at Second Best Bar. Only here at the Second Best Bar. Come get some.
All right. We are back at it. As the great Pete Spivak said, we are live at Second Best, 42 Watson Street, downtown Detroit. Get on down here. Get it started. Hey, you can't drink all day for the 4 o'clock game if you don't start soon. So come on down to Second Best. People are starting to make their way downtown. They are. And the place is going to be insane. Craig in the chat. Great read, Neil. LOL. Hey, man, I just try to keep it simple for everyone. Bellagio's back for more. Injuries. They choked last year, and they will choke this year due to injuries. 2 grumpy old men talking smack. No, Scott, you said it. Go back and read it.
That's right.
Again.
I hate misguided anger. I'm
I do
sorry
too.
you said what you said. If I offended you by repeating what you said, I apologize. I'll try not to, quote you in the future, okay?
Woodward Sports Chat Thread, Warren Singleton, Sean Neal, best show on Woodward. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Lions fan since '93. Started watching them when I was in high school. Once I saw Barry play, I was hooked. Let's go Lions from Ocala, Florida. Shout out to you for watching us from Florida. We definitely do appreciate that. Pete Spivak was kind enough to
Yes,
share with me a little bit of the just to get you caught up.
Yeah.
Right, Peter?
That's correct, sir.
Trending well, right?
Yes, sir.
About as well as it can be.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Decker, Lee McNeil, Levi Anzarike, Josh Pascal, DJ Reader, all full practice Friday.
Correct.
Trevor Nowaski out of practice Friday, game status out with a concussion. But other than that, man, we ride. And Sean, I want you to get the word out that we back up.
Well, that's what good teams do. I mean, that's, to our friend Scott, Scott, like all those injuries that you spoke of, every one of those injuries that you spoke of, and there's been a lot of them, right? How many games have they lost during this stretch? Go. I'll wait.
Let me see. 0, 0. No, they won that one too. That was a win. Ooh, that one was close, but they did win.
So can I go
they
back
won
to
them
the? Can I go back? And I don't mean to pick on you, Scott, but if you keep coming back for more, we'll keep using your words against you. So come back for more, because this is easy. This is really, really easy. I challenged you, and my challenge still stands. Let me know where they fell on their face. Now, if you're going to gaze in your crystal ball and tell me that they're going to choke today, how can I argue with that logic? I can't. I mean, that's strong, unarguable logic. What I can do is tell you things that have happened. So I can say, based on what makes you think that the Lions are going to choke? Your words, not mine. What makes you think the Lions are going to choke? All they've done is win. Like, I get it. Your butt hurt. I get it. This franchise has hurt so many of us. Really, I truly get it. But this team has written their own path. This team has gone down their own path. All that bad shit in the past is gone. So if you're going to tell me that are the Lions going to choke today and ask that question, then I'm well within my right. Neil's well within his right to say, bow. Based on what? And if you say injuries, then how can you get mad at Neil or me for saying, okay, can you point out that game they lost due to injuries? I'll wait. Like, this is the definition of a straw man argument. And that's coming from a grumpy old man. A grumpy old man who has the audacity to use facts to support up what he says. You better lay down, son. You better lay down.
Double G21. It's okay, Scott. Math is hard. No, it is. It can be difficult. There is no doubt about it. So yeah, that is it.
I just wanted to add also
Yes,
that
sir.
Jamal Adams and Abraham Beauplan have been elevated from the practice squad. You know, they came out late last night. So Jamal
I did
Adams.
miss that. Thank you.
Yeah, Jamal Adams returning. Yep.
There it is. Chuck Brewer. Neil, we're on our way to 3-13-1 again, right? Listening to some of the fans. I'll never understand it. I will. And there's a segment, and when Spenmo and Easy do the watch party over at Hayes Social in Shelby, shout out 586. It's a lifestyle. When they do the watch party, the first thing that goes against them, I told you. I told you these injuries. Clearly they're not back. Clearly DJ Reader's 50% of himself. Like, it is. It'll be there, and that's fine with it. I have to be mentally strong to let it go.
It really is like cutting open a tree and looking at the rings to figure out its age. The amount of butt-hurt scar tissue you have can tell me how old you are. And so the grumpy old man, that's pretty good. The grumpy old man, he's Jack Lemmon. I'm Walter Matthau. We can sit back and say, yeah, we've seen a lot. But I can also sit back and speak factually and say, for all the hand-wringing, for all the worrying, for all the doom and gloom, the Lions haven't lost any game since this string of injuries has happened.
That's correct.
Not a one. I like where I'm sitting. So should you. Like, what are you trying to argue? Are you trying to be the smartest man in the room? Wait, help me out here. I don't get it, Neil. I really don't get it.
No, I don't either. All right, Sean, let's take a spin around the NFC North because it is relevant. And for the people that say the Lions are going to choke, certainly it is relevant. But everything stays the same if the Lions still hold the keys to the car and everything that happens in this NFC North division. Lions at 12-1, Vikings at 11-2, the Packers at 9-4. It's a wrap for them. They're not catching the Detroit Lions when they're 3 games back with 4 to play without the tiebreaker. So they're dead. And this is, Sean, as we get into December, this is when things start to play themselves out. They just do. You start running out of games. You start running out of, if they can just get hot. No, there is no more of that. The Green Bay Packers are over. In terms of winning the division, Sean, it is over. OVA. You see what I'm driving at here? Like, continues to shrink. And if the Detroit Lions are able to get this win here today and say, more on this later, because the Vikings are playing the Bears. If we're going to spin around the division, that is a thing. Now we're getting to that point where, yes, the games are they're all important for the Lions because they're one of the best teams in the league. But we're getting to the point now where if they win and the other teams lose, now you're talking about being 2 back with 3 to go, and the math just doesn't add up to a team that's lost 1 game since the whole season started.
Yeah, and oftentimes, I know the NFL sells hope now. It was a great idea to add a playoff game and to add a regular season game. It was a great idea. That is the National Football League's way of selling hope, of keeping fan bases and franchises alive. But, Neil, with that being said, business decisions are being made all over the National Football League.
Bingo. And that's what changes.
How do I know that? I lived it. I watched the Detroit Lions make business decisions. And sometimes in November, sometimes in early November, where you just know the season's over, and you know what they do? Salute. They're done. That's it. That's,
that sounded like somebody I know when you said that.
You can absolutely positively tell just by their demeanor, Sacre bleu. You could absolutely sit back and say, well, the year's over. And how many times have we watched the Lions play that role, Nobody wants to be in the role of spoiler. That's one of the biggest misnomers is, well, at least we can play spoiler. Oh, goody gumdrops. I'm going to go give 100% to fuck somebody else.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work that way. So you're starting to see the cream rise to the top in that regard.
All right, so with that being said, as we do take a spin around the NFL, the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football, they will be at Seattle, and that becomes a big game for the Packers, Sean. Not because they're going to win the division; they're a non-factor. It's over for them. It's dead. It's dead. No, it's dead and gone.
It is.
Yeah, it's dead and gone. Like that thing is a wrap. I will say this though: if the Packers lose today, then all of a sudden the playoffs. I don't want to say that they're in peril for them, but it's not the lock that we said it was for the Green Bay Packers. And imagine this, Sean. 3 weeks ago, imagine this saying, man, if the Packers lose this game in Seattle, which is very plausible, they're in trouble. And you know what? Good. I want the Seahawks to win, just for the gram.
If I were a betting man, I would still say that the Packers are a playoff, but you're not wrong in your assessment. All of a sudden, it becomes a little tighter. And let's
they're not catching the Vikings either.
Yes, Seattle has to win this game. I mean, they really do. This is, I don't want to say must win. I think must win is thrown around way too easily. But this is a win that's kind of imperative for the Seahawks. So in that regard, Neil, by the way, that series, how strange. Hi, how are you? I always love being filmed while we're filmed. No, that's not. No, come on. Do you want to come in and take some more shots?
She's got a very nice Christmas sweater on.
I love the
That's
sweater.
a great Christmas sweater. It's spectacular.
Right back to you.
Shout out Second Best, by the way. Second Best rocks,
such
everybody.
A great spot.
Second Best.
I'm telling the wings, you guys try the dry rub. I swear by the dry rub, okay? Greatest day ever. But, Neil, Seattle Green Bay is one of those crazy games, too. You know how sometimes two teams get together? How many weird moments have we seen in, like, Seattle Green Bay games? So I got to be honest with you, I'm kind of fired up about that game. I really am.
Brad Holmes-Ora. Hey, Sean. Hey, Neil. Hey, Brad Holmes-Ora.
Hi, Brad Holmes-Ora.
Colton's Cardboard. Hey, can the Cowboys get hot and make the playoffs? Thank you, Colton. Thank you, Colton's Cardboard.
The path is there. The path is there.
Yeah, absolutely. Woodward Sports chat thread. Jump into there. Get your thoughts. FTP, Tabitha Gable, FTP, Jeremy Koch, FTP, Henri U of M Dad, FTP, Double G21, Green Bay sucks, Phil DeYoung, FTP, Patrick, FTP. So I like that. Greg also says, have a Merry Christmas. Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
But no, Sean, it is. I don't think that people fully understand that. The Packers lose this game, they fall to 9-5. The Commanders win, they improve to 9-5. And then the Rams are 8-6.
It gets tight. It does.
Wouldn't that be great?
Betting man, I say they're in. But it's
there's
fun.
a path.
It's fun to watch other teams sweat when you don't have to
And that's
sweat.
the moral of the story.
It is. It's fun to watch it.
No, that is the moral of the story for me. And then the other one, Monday night, the real Monday night game.
Fuck the Bears.
Bears, Vikings. Sean, I know you don't like it.
I hate the Bears.
I know.
I hate them.
Do you hate the Bears more, or do I hate Caleb Williams more? That's a photo finish.
Well, see, because of longevity and because what the Bears did to me when I was younger, I'm going to have to say I hate the Bears more. I do. I hate the Bears. But this is one of the – because you know who's slowly starting to piss me off? Not the Vikings, but Viking fan.
Yes.
Like, what did I do to you? I didn't do it. Why am I getting friendly fire from your war with Neil? I've been living in Switzerland going, listen. All right, I understand what my friend's saying. The Lions are better than the Vikings. You guys need to accept it. But where I differ from him is I thought you were a playoff team. Why are you firing across my border? What did I – so very, very closely I'm starting to the Vikings. I'm not there yet. Neil. But it's kind of like the Vikings. Okay? You people stay on me. And guess what? I am going to sign a non-aggression pact with my friend Neil Rule, and we are going to roll over you guys.
I'm just going to say it. The Vikings are on a 6-game winning streak against the Colts, the Jaguars, the Titans, the Bears, the Cardinals, and Atlanta.
It's amazing how scheduling can play itself out in the National Football League, isn't it? You know, when you finish where you finished the previous year, and that dictates what your schedule is going to do. Imagine the Lions playing a schedule like that.
Their wins this year feature the Giants, the Jets, the aforementioned Colts, Jaguars, Titans, Bears, Cardinals, Atlanta, San Francisco at home, which is just a regular-ass win that you should have now. Houston in the game that C.J. Stroud played his worst game as a professional.
That was awful.
And at Green Bay, which isn't really that difficult.
So their signature win is at Green Bay. Is that safe to say?
That's safe to say.
Okay. Cool.
Cool story. Yep, there you go.
Good.
A lot of FTB.
You can throw FTB in anytime you want, fellas.
No. So, again, I bring it up. Somebody asked earlier, Neil, is the pick a get right? Second hour, I do load the cannons, everybody. I do have a get right. And, Sean, you know this. In this league is full of this. Sometimes you just gotta spray the Axe body wash on and jump in.
Love that.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes you gotta get grimy and dirty.
The Axe body wash.
Sometimes you have to, Sean, and it's not sexy. And it doesn't look good on paper.
You had a rough night, but you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do.
Get back on the road.
You got to go get your money.
Yeah.
You know, so we're definitely
no Drakkar. Only X?
Dude, Drakar's still elite. JB, where's the new – oh, JB doesn't have a mic on. Where's the new generation at with Drakkar?
Yeah.
I need to – JB, just real quick, chime in. Is Drakkar still a thing with the new generation?
I don't think so.
Oh, come on.
What about English
think
leather?
so.
Any English leather?
I don't think so either. No.
Electric shave?
Oh, Scott, I'm a grumpy old man, so I thought I'd bring up a grumpy old man cologne, right?
Yeah.
English leather.
Jar Vandalay, Drakkar Noir. Yes. Yes.
Drakkar Noir.
Yes. Steve DeYoung, I hate Vikings fans. I strongly despise Bear fans. I loathe Packer fans. Chinavirus, get away from your Old Spice body wash. Answer 14, Polo. Drop your favorite cologne. No, it's not. No,
it's going to be that kind of show.
No.
We have completely veered to the right.
I apologize for that remark there. That was like an instinctual reaction. We don't need that here. It's the Woodward
Sports
Pregame show.
It's not like we've ever done anything like that.
We're live at we owe the people at second. They give us these great wings and chicken sandwiches and tallers. We owe the people at second best more than, hey, drop your favorite cologne.
Top 5 colognes in the chat right now.
248.
248.
Dante 151. Can we just eliminate the AFC and NFC South from the playoffs? Brian Wood, Drakkar, 1,000%. Here on Mark M, Obsession for Men. Craig, I hate Matt Stafford's kids.
Obsession for men. Dude, you win. We're done.
Aqua di Gio, Burberry, Route 33. J19, NFC South is so bad to watch. AFC South is horrendous as well.
Awful.
Okay, get it together. Aaron McLeod, Gucci, LMA.
Oh my God.
Jeez, so many.
What have we done?
I don't know. Get it back on the track. Zach Soap, Neil, what's your dream playoff matchup for this year? Zach, you know what? Thank you for reminding me of that, because I am going to take the last 14 minutes of this segment, and I'm going to be real. I am going to get it on. Wilson, boot him, kids. Yes, I am going to get this back on the tracks right now, because Sean, I think this is fair. When the Lions win today, when they beat Buffalo, I got goosebumps earlier talking about it, because this becomes as real as it's ever become.
Right.
I think if they win today, it's even more real than halftime of the NFC Championship game. Sean, I honest to God believe that. Honestly, I do. I think you can get to the point where you start talking about Super Bowl matchups. For real. And Sean, because somebody asked about it, my dream playoff matchup is for the Lions to play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, because I want to take it all down. I want to take the dynasty down. I want to take Mahomes down. I want closure to this, because I don't want the caveat of, well, you didn't have to go through Mahomes. I want it all, Sean. I want it all. And that does start here today by beating the Buffalo Bills. I want it all.
You know what? In a perfect world, do you know what would be fun? I would love to knock off the two teams in our division. How great would that be if you got to play Green Bay in the first round, and then Minnesota? God forbid Minnesota pull an upset or two and find up themselves in the NFC Championship. No, I'm with you. I felt that way since a year ago. I think the Lions and Chiefs were on a collision course. The Chiefs, it is going to be crammed down our throats. The fact that the Chiefs are going for something that the Miami Dolphins couldn't, the Pittsburgh Steelers couldn't, the Dallas Cowboys couldn't, the San Francisco 49ers couldn't, the New England Patriots couldn't. It will be crammed down our throat. We will be so sick of that story of them going for 3 in a row. And the beauty of taking that away from them and ruining all those storylines would be remarkable. So my perfect path, don't get me wrong, I'm one of those guys. I love when people act like hard asses. I want all the tough teams, man. I don't want any. Give me the easiest road. I'll take the easiest road all day. If it means I can walk around like this, that's what I want. But in a perfect world, Neil, to be able to knock off, God forbid, like the two teams in our division who have tortured us so many times in our life, again, can you imagine going 3-0 against both those teams? And, oh, by the way, with playoff wins, you wouldn't have anything to throw in our face, fellas. And then knock off the Kansas City Chiefs? Neil, that would be unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That's exactly what I want. J19, I agree, Neil. Chiefs versus Lions. I want to see Kelsey retire after they lose, see Taylor Swift cry, and Mahomes know that they cannot make history. Lions 42, Chiefs 24. We're even giving out the
Super Bowl
the scores.
That's outstanding. We're only 2 months away.
Only 2 months away.
Right?
Stephen Baffy. No, I want to put the Goff narrative to rest. I want to knock Stafford out of the playoffs again into retirement on Goff's way to his first Super Bowl ring of more to come. And I don't hate that. I don't hate that scenario either. I got asked a question, so I answered it. KMG King, I want the Chiefs. Just like Ric Flair said, to be the man, you got to beat the man. Woo! Now, am I crazy for wanting that, though? Because I'm with you. Typically, I'm like, you people are crazy. Like, give me the best team. No. Get the Commanders in the NFC Championship game if you can. Like, that's where I am with it. But for this one, Sean, and because I do think that we're good enough to where it doesn't matter.
No. And again, this is where I go back to saying, if you've paid any attention in the last year, any attention whatsoever, all these same old Lions and are the Lions going to choke and all that stuff, it isn't applicable anymore. Now the onus is on you to tell guys like me why. because we haven't seen that for a long, long time now. I remember years ago some guys gave the business to a few Lions that had the audacity to come out and say, well, I'm not part of the past. I'm not part of the past. And I told one of them, I'm not going to say his name because it was a private conversation, but I had a conversation with a very prominent Lion where I said, the second that you're a part of your first losing streak here, guess what? Whether you like it or not, you are now painted with that same brush. You are part of the problem. Is it fair? Nobody's saying it's fair, but you're a Detroit Lion. So can we talk about this team's losing streaks over the past year? Where are they? Where's the team's losing streak? One?
It's that John Travolta thing from Pulp Fiction.
Right, yeah. Like what? Right, where are the losing streaks? Where's the we haven't been able to win on the road? Where's the multiple losing streak? One doesn't count as a losing streak. Where's the losing streak? This is a different franchise. They have carved their own path.
Tabitha Gable, I smelled like Gucci and weed. Gucci. Fair. Okay, hey, do you on a Sunday?
Tabby, nothing wrong with that, Tabby.
Yeah.
You roll with it.
She's Gucci'd.
Another perspective. You want to talk about big games? And I said this is the premier game in the NFL this season. This season, it is the premier game in the NFL. Adam Schefter has tweeted about that, huh, Peter?
That's correct. Adam Schefter put out just about an hour ago. The Bills and the Lions are a combined 22-4. Excuse me.
Chokes you up a little bit.
I was so choked up by this. The Bills and the Lions, they are combined 22-4, tied for the fourth highest win percentage, 846 in any game week 15 or later since the 1970 merger. Since week 6, these teams have been a combined record of 16-1, with the only loss coming last week when Buffalo scored 42 points against the Rams. So we have a lot of winning football coming up in this 425 matchup.
I was told, Neil Rule trademark, I was told that we were grumpy old men for talking up things like that. That's what I was told.
You were told that.
I was told that, we're supposed to be fearful of this. I mean, again, I keep throwing this word around, historic. I mean, Schefter's words. You're going back to 1970. And what
you start talking about merger.
It's going back to the merger.
Right. What the fuck are we doing here, right? How many 15 and 16-1 teams can you name? Go. Like, this is the
I can think of
one.
The Minnesota Vikings.
Who?
Remember?
With the most prolific offense I've ever seen.
I remember.
Yeah.
And a kicker who hasn't missed a field goal all season.
He didn't miss.
Until he did.
Until he did. At the worst.
Gary Anderson.
Poor Viking. Poor Viking.
Minnesota Viking.
Minnesota Viking.
Poor Viking. But Skull. I'm a Kodiak guy. I just you can keep your Skull. I'm a Kodiak guy.
Skull.
But Skull.
Was this NASCAR 1982?
Oh, man. Woodward Sports chat there.
Harry Gant.
Get into there. Joshua McKenzie, Nick Wright might explode seeing Goff hoist the Lombardi. That's another angle for. And
Can we ban those names though? I'm serious. Like you and I talked about it during the week. Let's just all those people that are just saying things to get their clicks. Like Rip Rayless. I don't even want to say their names anymore. Saab Sarker. Like enough.
What about this from Kool-Aid Night?
Dick Drite. Like all of them. I don't even want to say their names anymore.
What about this from a Kool-Aid 1957? He says, "I just want a ring." Am I getting caught up? Am I getting caught up too much by the give me Mahomes?
No.
Because people in the chat says also too, if you want the Chiefs, then you got to beat the NFL. And this is from Double G21. To beat the Chiefs, you got to beat the NFL, and you have to beat Vegas.
Sorry, you know I've been saying that forever. That's my fear. I firmly believe that the NFL is desirous of putting Patrick Mahomes front and center with the NFL Shield. And the storyline that is the Kansas City Chiefs became the first team to win 3 Super Bowls. I firmly believe that. I'm not going to back off of that. But, who was it? 1957, Kool-Aid 1957? Is God is my witness. You win a ring. 1. I'm done. Neil, I'm going to be incapable to do these shows. Because, that's it. I drop all the things that have haunted me in my life and my anger about this franchise and my hurt over this franchise, it's all washed away. Like, I'm going to be incapable of doing these because, like, I can't bitch about the Detroit Lions anymore. I can't do it. They did it. They finally did it. I'm done. My soul can rest. That's it. Like, honestly.
That chapter will come to a close. Woodward Sports chat thread, jump into that. Neil, are you sure it wasn't Morton Anderson? Oh, yes, I'm sure.
It was Gary Anderson.
Gary Anderson,
It was Gary
1999. Lost to the Falcons at home.
They were, if I'm not mistaken, that 98 Viking team was the highest scoring team ever. Right?
It was.
And Billick was the offensive genius, right? Wasn't he? Wasn't it?
I think it was Billick
Yeah.
because he had Culpepper, Moss, Chris Carter.
Insane.
Yeah, it was insane.
Insane.
And Robert Smith running back.
Was that Culpepper or was that Randall Cunningham?
I think
that
Randall Cunningham came in and replaced Culpepper.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so yeah, it was a combination of both.
Yeah.
And then
he
Robert
just
Smith in the backfield.
He just closed his eyes and said,
Right.
YOLO, and
Yeah,
rode
and
down
he
the
just-
field.
yeah,
and then
that-
the great Robert Smith in the backfield, guys.
He was
Don't forget
phenomenal.
about him.
Dr. Robert
He was,
Smith.
yeah.
And then he became a doctor. I don't know if you knew that.
Just to update you, Neil, I mean, you want the Chiefs so bad. Let me just, starting next week, apparently reports say that Hollywood Brown, we forgot about him. He's going to be rejoining practices for the Chiefs.
Oh.
So, no, I'm just saying. No. I'm not saying be fearful. No. Hang on. Hear me out.
I want you to get the word out.
Not
Hollywood
saying
Brown will be back.
Not saying be fearful, but I'm just saying, like, if you do want to beat the Chiefs, no, I hear you. If they're going to
Hollywood
have,
Brown will be back.
they're going to be fully healthy.
What's the league going to do?
They're going to be fully healthy, baby. So I'm saying, if you want to beat the team, you're going to have to beat the fully healthy Chiefs, and I think that they will definitely
Hollywood
happen.
Brown.
So there's no excuses. So when we do beat the Chiefs, I don't want to hear it from the
That's a team they chose.
That's what I'm saying, exactly.
Like they chose
Yeah.
Hollywood
Brown.
Byrne, I just love how Vegas put out that story about being scared of the Lions winning the Super Bowl, knowing smart money will go all in on the field. So, yeah, there's that. Gregory, Neil, you doing the MSU game this week? Yes, Tuesday. I'll be doing the radio call of Michigan State Oakland at LCA.
Nice, dude.
So,
Nice.
I'll be on that. Well, myself and Rex Walters, by the way, former NBA first-round draft pick, played in Kansas, played in the league. So, yeah, we'll be chopping it up for that. Check it out if you get a chance to. But, yeah, so, again, though, it's a little spin-off topic there. I got asked a question. I've been thinking about it a lot lately. And it's just something. And, oh, by the way, too, there's thousands of you watching right now. 5 hours before the game.
But to your point, Neil, this is what we can
Thank you,
talk
by the way.
about. We can talk about historic seasons all we want. But you know what? When you become a real historic season is when you win it all, okay? We talk about the teams that went 15-1 like
As a punchline.
yeah, that's
talk
not
about it as a
historic.
punchline.
That's infamy.
The Buffalo Bills are a punchline.
I don't want that. Hey, listen, you know what? Randy Moss and Tom Brady is a punchline.
Yes.
That perfect season is how the hell did you lose to the New York Giants?
Exactly.
Right. Brad Johnson and Randall Cunningham and that machine in 1998. Everybody and their brother thought it was going to be the Denver Broncos and the Minnesota Vikings that year. Everybody and their brother, because they were two machines, okay? And you know what? The Broncos found a way to get there and win again. And the Vikings, well, went Vikings. But you know what? I can sit back from afar and go, wow. I mean, Randall Cunningham, Brad Johnson, that whole team, well, they were a machine. What did it mean? What did
Nothing.
it mean? It meant nothing. It was yet another heartbreak for you guys. It's great to talk about history. Like, we're living history right now. And 16-1. But you know what makes the people right, like the guy earlier in the show? If the Lions fall flat on their face, then you know what? I'll be the first guy to say, hey, bro, you're right. What did this mean if the Lions don't win? This is fun right now. You don't have any right to say it right now. You don't, okay? But, and this is why I go back to the crystal ball, if God forbid, pick a team, knock the Lions off before the Super Bowl, guess what? We're a footnote as well, Neil. We are. And these guys know that, and they're not going to let that happen.
Sean, like, you want to know something else about this? Like, this game will be difficult, right? And it'll be difficult for the fans, and there'll be emotional swings and stuff like that. Just remember, too, and I've noticed this as the season has gone on, because this is still new to us.
Sure.
It will only get more difficult.
100%.
this is as easy. This Lions season is a lot like having children. Whatever day you're on is the easiest it's ever going to be. If your kid is newborn, this is as easy as it's ever going to be. If they're 4, today's as easy as it's ever going to be. If they're 9, this is, they're into high school. This Lion season is like parenthood. Today is as easy as it ever will be. And then when it's in the fourth quarter and it's tied and they're going for it on 4th and 1 when they're already in field goal range, that's as easy as this season's ever going to be. Because going back to what you said, there are potential dynasty teams that are punchlines in this league because they didn't cash it in.
100%.
That's all that matters. All that matters.
Hey, listen, the Buffalo Bills. Not
They're
Jim
the
Kelly's
ultimate-
Buffalo Bills.
They're the ultimate punchline in
Not-
the history of the NFL.
Listen, not Jim Kelly's Buffalo Bills. How about the Buffalo Bills right now? Go back 4 years ago. Honest to goodness, who thought the Buffalo Bills wouldn't have done anything in the last 4 years? For all the excitement, for all the big moments, for all the big games, what have the Buffalo Bills done? What have they done? What has Bills Mafia done?
They jumped through some tables on camera,
Right.
and that's it. That's it.
Guys, there's not. Joe Burrow. Here they come. Like, I just want to. Here they come, Bengals, okay?
Joe Burrow will be back in this league. He'll be back. Ooh.
What have they done?
Remember that?
Yeah. What have they done? It's not that easy. And so, you know what? Dan Campbell was right, and the Lions find themselves better than last year, Neil. You have to strike now. You have to strike now. Don't
there's
fuck
no
around.
Yeah, there's no doubts. Like
you have to strike now.
And that's the other side of this. I'll stop short of the Scott Bellagio, they're going to choke. I'll stop short of that. If you don't win the Super Bowl, it's a failure.
Oh, it is. I'm not going to deviate from that.
But people aren't. We're still not comfortable talking.
No.
And you know what? Yeah, hey, Sean, when they win today, when we're doing that show at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi tomorrow, I'm taking a segment of that. Just a reminder. Just a reminder segment.
You can't.
If you don't win the Super Bowl, all of this is for nothing.
You can't kick the can down the road. You can't change expectations midstream. This was about taking the next step. Period.
Period. End of story. Blade in the chat. Panay Sewell's Super Bowl pregame and Dan Campbell's postgame Super Bowl speeches will feed families for decades.
That was outstanding.
that Panay's last week.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to talk about Detroit.
Yeah.
Everybody wants some of Detroit. Come get some.
Come get some. That would be unbelievable.
All right,
families.
we're late. We're late for the break. I understand that. When we come back, we got Sean Belizean's matchup to watch for. We're going to spin around the NFL, which has really just become a Jameis Winston appreciation 4-minute segment. I know you do. Where are we going, JB Smooth? Sabbath Coffee Roasters, everybody, right there on East 14 Mile in Clawson. If you're coming downtown, I passed a couple of you. I gave the pictures of the tailgate crew rolling downtown. You know where they stopped? East 14 Mile in Clawson. They got their Sabbath coffee. They're ready to rock it. Oh, by the way, they offer a subscription service as well. If you're super lazy like I am, just you don't even have to go to the – you can just get a subscription and get your coffee sent to your house, guys. Think about that for a minute. It is Sabbath Coffee. They're a proud partner of the Woodward Sports pregame show. We love them. Cool spot, by the way, too. Like a Saturday night thing, you want to go get coffee before dinner or something like that, they got a great spot down there in Clawson. Great vibes down there. So pull up on them, as a matter of fact. Sabbath Coffee Roasters.
Get energized for the holidays during the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Now through December 20th, join for $1 down, $15 a month. And recharge this holiday season and beyond in the clean and spacious judgment-free zone, filled with equipment for every workout. Stay motivated with free fitness training and lots more. Celebrate the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Join for $1 down, $15 a month. Hurry! Offer ends December 20th.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Main, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall to wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Oh, yeah, everybody. 1800 Tequila, the official tequila of the Detroit Lions and also the official tequila of Woodward Sports. You can get yourself some 1800 Tequila and that beautiful Lions logo right now at your local stores. 1800 Tequila, the official sponsor, again, of Woodward Sports, the Lions pregame show and postgame show as well, and the official tequila of your Detroit Lions. 1800 Tequila, please drink responsibly.
Keeping it pushing, everybody. Woodward Sports pregame show. Neil Rule, Sean Belizean, JB Smoove here mixing and scratching. Peter Spivak. We're about 30 minutes away from Peter Spivak. He's been on a run for the ages, guys. He's cashing. It hasn't cashed every week, but when you're hitting 8-to-1s every week, you don't need him to cash.
Exactly.
All
We're
right.
playing with house money.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're down here doing it, and, we're having a good time. Fans are starting to matriculate in, as a matter of fact. So we're doing it, Sean. We met some of the nice people that are here
great.
today.
It's fantastic.
No, it is. Shout out Gary McCarrick, also, too, as well. Aligna, his wife, is here, and he's a big Golden Grizzlies fan.
Yes, he is. We met him at Hollywood Market over the weekend.
Absolutely.
He came to the Salvation Army kettle.
So shout out to the Golden Grizzlies fans that are making their way. Some of you are in the chat there as well. Greg, Neil, love him or hate him, he's the man. I don't know about all that, but I notice I evoke emotion in both sides. I do notice that. Fago Rain, no one has seen the Netflix documentary on Jameis Winston's case in college. You'd think different about him. Look, Fago Rain, here's the deal, all right? Oftentimes in life, when you get to know your heroes personally, they will let you down. I do not endorse Jameis Winston, the person. I can only speak to what happens between the lines when I watch the man on TV. I've never met him. I've never hung out with him. I don't share his life philosophies. When he plays football between the lines, it is entertaining. And then I leave it at that. I'm not asking him to raise my children. I'm asking him to throw for 500 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions one week, and then 116 yards and 4 interceptions and no touchdowns the next week. That's what I ask. It's a very, I guess you would say, result-based relationship.
No, you know what it is? Can I clean this up for you?
Yes.
It's a very American story. America isn't very proud of a lot of things that happen in its history. But it's still America. I'm not proud of things that happen in the Pilgrims' times. I'm not proud of things that happen in the 1800s. Hell, I'm not proud of things that happen in the 1960s. But it's still the greatest country on earth. And Jameis Winston is still its quarterback.
It is.
Right? Come on, man.
Captain Crablegs is the best.
If you can't watch that guy and giggle on a weekly basis, I guess you don't like fun. That's like, it is fun watching Jameis. You never know what you're going to get from the experience. You just don't know.
Nitty gritty. Sean and Neil, how do you think the fan base is going to handle winning the Super Bowl when it eventually happens? I think that's going to be literally different for every single person. This is one of those things, literally different. Everyone is going to have their own Lions Super Bowl arc.
Yeah.
For some, it'll be stunned disbelief. For some, I always go back to the guy when the Lions beat the Rams. I can't remember if you were doing the show with me. You may have been. When I said, like, when they put the camera on that guy that was crying, like that was it. That was my vibes. I was watching the game with George Blaha, as a matter of fact, which is a wild story and a story I'll tell people for forever. But that was kind of my vibe. And I think when they win the Super Bowl, Sean, it'll be delayed for me, I think. Like, I will kind of just stand there and go, what just happened?
And, no, I think that's valid, Neil. And, I'm not going to play he's a bigger fan, you're a bigger fan.
No, we've all had our own journey.
We've all had our journey. I know some of us have been closer to the journey, whether it be you've had season tickets for as long as you remember, or you had to waste so many. And I mean that. I can't tell you how many Sundays I wasted on the Lions. I'm not being funny.
Yes.
All day, where I would leave my house at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I had to do the TV show, and I had to do a pregame, and then I had to do this, and I had to do that. And there were some nights, I'm not bull crapping, and you know our business, I'd get back at 11:30 at night, and I'd go, what have I done for the last 14 hours? I have given 14 hours of my day, of my life, as a father, as a husband, as a human being, to this shit franchise, to Matt Patricia. I gave my whole day to Matt, Lord. 14 fucking hours to Matt Patricia. So all jokes aside, we've all had our own journey. I'm not saying mine is better than yours or worse or anything like that.
More difficult, yes.
Right. We've all had our own journey. Neil, it's something we've talked about for years. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I have a feeling knowing me, and I can only say this being at the Rose Bowl when Michigan State won the Rose Bowl. My son said that it was almost like I was hypnotized for about a minute. And he said, you just kept looking at the scoreboard just going, wow. Well, I think I'm going to have that moment. Like, just staring at the TV going, wow. 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 I don't.
Yeah.
There's no way I can't. Something you've thought about a gazillion times in your life. We have no idea how we're going to react. If I had to guess, that would be my guess. And I always used to be one of those people, I'll go to the game. I don't care what it costs. Or if I can't go to the game, I'm going to be with a party. Fuck no. You know what? I want to be there in my house. I'm going to take every second in by myself. That's my time. That I know for a fact that's how I'm going to watch it.
And my buddies and I, who 10 years ago would have spared no expense, and we would have went.
100%. Yeah.
We're going to his house. We're going to tailgate all day in his driveway.
That's awesome.
That's what we're going to. That's what
awesome.
we're going to
No,
do. Like, we got to plan
dude.
out. If they win today, I think Monday we can get into that. What are you doing for the Super Bowl? With all that being said, all right, it is time. By the way, too, jump into that Woodward Sports chat thread. Get in there. You guys, man, we're 5 hours away. You guys are locked TF in. I love you guys, for real. I absolutely do. All right, Sean, it's time for the Sean Belizean matchup to watch. And the biggest storyline, let's return from La La Land from a second here. Let's talk about what's going on the field. There is a segment of the fan base that does enjoy that. Sean, what's the biggest storyline for you? What are you looking at?
You know what? We talked about it on Friday on Big D Energy. Check it out every day. Neil and I were in Friday. We'll be in tomorrow as well. Neil, this is a game to me where I know everybody's looking for the sexy and they're looking for the big lights and everything. The Bills have been torched, like really bad against running backs out of the backfield. And I'm not talking about the handoffs. I'm talking about in receptions. I'm talking about attempts. I'm talking about yardage out of the backfield by running backs. You have two backs. You expect it from Gibbs. I would love to see Monty get involved. I really would. How great would it be if they fire off Monty a little bit? And you know the key to Monty, get him in space, get him square. I don't want that east-west stuff. You know he does his damage when he's square and he's going north-south. To me, Their screen game is elite as it is. You set up some of those screens. You set up some of those just little flares out of the backfield. I think the Lions are going to feast all day because that's what the league has done against the Buffalo Bills all year. This is not an opinion. It is
a fact.
Go look at the numbers. Running backs out of the backfield have feasted on the Bills all year, and I would do it over and over and over and over until they prove they can stop it, Neil.
No, and Sean, like, you're not crazy. And it's funny because earlier in the week when you and I were talking about this, I think it was on the Lions nickel package on Friday, one of your questions was like, over 54.5, right?
Yeah.
Like, just blind fire. And Sean, see, but here's the thing with that. What the Bills do not do well is what would hurt the chances of that over 54.
Sure.
I don't think this is going to be this arena football 38-31, YOLO, throw the ball 70 times. I don't think it's going to be that at all. I think it's going to be quite the inverse.
I think it's going to be close. I said 31-27.
I think the Lions will have 35 rush attempts.
I don't
40 rush attempts.
You know, here's the thing, though. Like, Neil, and I'm not a betting guy anymore. I have to bring that up all the time, okay? If I were a betting guy, I don't think I'd touch it. I'd be afraid. Because I can see 31-27, but this might be the longer drives. Like, I'm talking about, here's your 12-yard reception to Gibbs. Here's your 10-yard reception to Montgomery. Not the big chunk. Like last week was watching that Rams-Bills game. That was like watching the arena game because you just knew, okay, they're going to score and they're going to score fast. I'm not sure that's going to happen today. But I think the yards and certainly the opportunities are going to be there. All I can do, and this goes back to our buddy Scott. Scott, sorry to make you a theme of the story. All I can tell you is what has happened, okay? You can drop your pants around your ankles and say you swear you know what's going to happen, but all I can do is tell you what has happened. And the Lions haven't given me any reason to think that they're going to choke yet, and the Bills haven't given me any reason to think that they're going to stop backs out of the backfield. The numbers support it. Again, this is not a small sample size. This is a large sample size. The Buffalo Bills have not stopped running backs out of the backfield.
They're fourth worst in the league in yards per carry on defensively.
Then
fourth
there's
worst.
that.
Like, you run the football on that.
Yep.
You just
running
do.
backs hurt them. Period.
No, and that's kind of where I am with it. Woodward Sports chat thread, jump into there and get your thoughts going. Danny G, Josh Allen's going to be scrambling a lot today. Keys to Wisdom, 34-17 Lions. So that one's out there also. I just think that they are. I think that they're going to pound them in the mouth. JB Smoove, what would Marshawn Lynch say? You know what it is. JB Smoove says it better than me. Hey, what would Marshawn Lynch say you should do to the Bills?
About that action, boss.
And then how would they run the football?
Right through a motherfucker.
Get in there! Get the fuck in there, JB!
So there's that one also too. Dos Burrito, where you guys at? I'm jealous. About 800 miles away. Buffalo Wild Wings for me today. Bringing the family with me, though. Dos Burrito, we're at second best in Detroit. 42 Watson Street.
Come on down.
A couple blocks away from LCA. Fans are starting to make their way in. Remember, they don't kick the ball off for another 5 hours. We got some Oakland fans out here, too. They're doing it. So everybody unites today, man. Everybody unites. You ready to spin around the league, Sean?
Let's do it.
Low-key, this is one of my favorite segments that we do here on the Woodward Sports pregame show. What do you got your eye on, other than America's quarterback?
Well, come on. Let's. You know what? I'm going to kill two birds with one stone here. I know I said this a couple weeks ago to you, and I'm going to say it again. I think the Miami Dolphins are flying under the radar. I really, truly do. I think this is a team that everybody kind of gave them up for dead a few weeks ago. Do not at all be surprised if they get themselves into the playoff. I'm serious when I say that. And I'm really intrigued against that game against the Texans, because if we're having a conversation about who is the most fraudulent team that is currently in a playoff position right now, I think a lot of people should say the Houston Texans. I got nothing for them. I really don't. So I'm intrigued.
Thank you for saying it.
No, I got nothing for them.
No one's talking about
I got
that.
nothing for them. There's none. C.J. Stroud was cute last year, and I don't know. I'm not going to make the blanket statement and say he's done. Sophomore slump, whatever the case may be. They are a fraud with a capital F. They are a fraud with a capital F. I mean that.
No, and that's fair. Dolphins lurking at 6-7. The Broncos are 8-5. So they do have things got to go right, but they don't have a choice. We're starting to run out of time now.
No, and you know what? Here's the thing. If I may, I want you to look at the rest of their schedule. Okay, the rest of the Dolphins' schedule. They host the Niners, who are in full mail-in mode.
Guys quit.
They play at the Browns. Okay, now late December. I don't know about
America's
that, but
quarterback,
it's still
yeah.
America's quarterback. And then they host the Jets. Or, excuse me, they're at the Jets. Like,
Aaron Rodgers will be long gone by then.
Would it surprise you at all if Miami finished the season with 4 straight wins to go 10-7?
No, it would not. Peter, you got something? What do you got?
I just have something interesting that came across my eyeballs here. Ben Fox, who's our very good gambling, he studies gambling and the trends and all that stuff. One better at Caesars Sportsbook.
The official sportsbook of Woodward
I
Sports.
wonder if this is a listener here. One better at Caesars Sportsbook in Michigan wagered $115,000 on the Carolina Panthers -2.5 at -115 versus the Dallas Cowboys today.
We even paid the
You want to talk about irresponsible betting?
He paid the -115 tax on it, too. He believes.
To give 2.5 to the Dallas Cowboys. And I understand Carolina's at home, and they're favored for the first time since 2022.
2022.
I get it.
Since 2022.
But I wouldn't put $115,000 on
You know
that.
what? I hope he wins.
I hope he wins, too. But if he doesn't win, you get what you deserve, dude.
Now, if that affects Woodward's deal with Caesars, then I hope he loses. But I'm just keeping it real.
But he only gets $1,000 back.
That is true.
All right, can I time out?
Yes.
He's not crazy.
No, he's not crazy.
He's not crazy, but it's still weird.
It is weird. I mean, but Dallas is right.
100%.
I mean,
yeah. But
no,
he's
here they
betting
come.
150 on a two-win team.
I'm sorry. Here they come. We forgot. Sorry, Neil. The Here They Come Bowl on Monday was awesome. By the way,
that was the most elite text I ever got from you.
It was one of the greatest games in the history of mankind. Well, then it happened the next day. You knew it. Here they come.
Path to the playoffs for the Bengals.
Fucking A.
Here's what I'm looking at, and this is just stunning to me because I don't believe that I've seen this before. The Baltimore Ravens are at the New York Giants. The Baltimore Ravens on the road in the National Football League. On the road.
Oh, boy.
In the National Football League.
Can't wait for this.
Courtesy of Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. On
got?
the road,
Yeah.
the Baltimore Ravens are a 16.5-point favorite at the Giants on the road. I can't in good faith look you into the camera, look at you in the camera and say, take the Ravens, lay the 16.5 on the road. I can't do it, Sean. I can't
Conversely,
do that.
can I take the other side? There is no way in Hades I could in good faith say, take the Giants plus 16.5. Just stay away from that game. Run. Run far, far away.
I don't.
Oh, my God.
I've never seen it. Sean,
wouldn't touch
you've
that.
been around this game a long time.
No.
You ever see a 16.5-point
crazy,
favorite on the road
That's
in
crazy.
this league?
No, geez, Pete, I couldn't do that.
And look, the people are piling in right now. J19, Ravens 35, Giants 13. You're still sweating that to the very end. 35,
you.
35-13 in
Right,
the NFL,
right.
and
Two
you're
touchdowns
sweating.
Think
and a
about
field
that.
goal.
You're
Right.
sweating to death at the end of that game.
Oh, my gosh. How about, no, seriously, even 31-13 or something.
Yeah,
you're
you-
just
you're
going,
dying.
oh, please don't go down. Like last night. That was a bad beat last night, by the way. That was, I don't know if you paid attention to that last
Yes.
night. Okay, that was a bad beat. You could run into the scenario where, well, it's 4th down. We need a couple scores anyway. Why don't we just kick the field goal here, and then we'll go on the onside kick or something? Could you imagine that? I'd hang myself.
Yes.
Like, honestly, oh, my gosh. But
That's stress we don't need in our
bad
lives.
beat.
Greg Rollins, I immediately took the Giants. 16.5 is ridiculous, and I don't begrudge you for that.
I couldn't do it.
It's a principle.
I can't do it.
It's the principality, Smokey. Like that's where it is.
If you put a gun to my head, I'll take the 16 and a half.
Okay,
I would not touch that
Sean,
for $1 million.
you have to bet this game. If you lose, your family's homeless, and it's close to the holidays.
I'm taking 16 and a
Okay,
half.
thank you. Sean, the tree's already decorated. They're taking the smoker.
Gosh darn it. Not the smoker.
Yeah,
Don't take the smoke.
taking it
Don't
all.
take the smoke.
Listen, I'll give you my daughter and my son.
No. They're taking
I
it
can
all.
make 2 more with my wife. You just don't take my smoker.
Wendy Espinoza, who would lay that many points? Wendy, that's where I am. Like I can't in good conscience say that to you. I can't. Jake, Giants win. Okay, everybody, calm down. Peter, you got anything that's jumping out to you across the league?
Honestly, no. I mean, nothing is like really jumping out right now, especially with the 1 o'clock matchups, which I'm not too impressed about. But we'll get into
I know what
some more
I'm
of my
doing when I
bets
get
later.
home. That's
well,
all
we'll
I'm
get
gonna
into
say.
some more of my bets later on here, guys.
Yes, we will. I'll give you this. This is a classic Colts win at Denver. They're 6-7. Denver's 8-5. The Colts are always on the graphic, always. It's a law in the NFL. When you get to the last week of the season, the Colts are the if and team. It's always the Colts.
Yeah.
Clinch playoff berth with and. With
And.
That's
and.
awesome, Neil.
Every year. Tell me they're not. Every year, Indianapolis
Right.
Colts
The
clinch
Chargers
playoff
can clinch the playoffs
with
and
and.
Indianapolis. That's awesome.
That's where they are, and they
That's a
can't
great
be
line.
with an and if they lose today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, but you know what? And that's what we're talking about. And I'll go back to the Dolphins-Texans game where all of a sudden, you're looking at games. If the Colts do a very Colt thing and go out and beat Denver, which I still can't believe Denver's sitting there at 8-5. I'm not going to lie to you. I still can't believe that. Then all of a sudden, that whole NFL sells hope aspect, the window's wide open. There are a bunch of teams that are sitting there saying, we're still alive. We still have a chance. We can get with and. I love with and. We should do a with and bit one day. Let's figure out
we
with
will.
and bit. I love that.
I think we can probably start doing it tomorrow, I think, as a matter of fact.
We can have some fun with and.
I think that we
I
could.
love with and.
No, I do too.
Such a good bit.
It is a great bit. There's something here in the Woodward Sports chat thread that I want to discuss when we do come back. Peter Spivak will get you the Pete's props parlay. Those things have been electric. He's got just a couple fantasy suggestions for you as well. We play it true to the game. There's only 30 minutes left in the show, by the way.
That's unbelievable. Haven't we been here for like 15 minutes?
That's what it feels like.
Jeez, Pete.
Time flies when you're 12-1.
We got the Lions-Bills flashback. JB Smoove mixed and scratched. We'll talk about that. We're going to take you back to a previous Lions-Bills matchup as well. Your dad, I took Chicago +7. Real quick, Sean, before we do cut to the break, give him your play, your one play for the day. I'll go first, as a matter of fact. Your dad, I took Chicago +7. It's a get right. It's a get right. I gave it on the show the other day. I believe in this one. I don't choose the get rights. The get rights choose me. And this one has, and Sean, as I said earlier, sometimes you got to, if you haven't taken the shower, you got to put the Axe body spray on, you got to plug your nose, and you got to jump in. The 7's way too many for the Vikings to be given the Bears. It's Monday night, divisional game. If the Bears are worth it, and I was told Caleb Williams walking into the ultimate situation for a rookie, how do you not take him with a touchdown? But yet and still, I know the real Minnesota Vikings are in there somewhere. I know they are. I know they are. And what better spot for the real Minnesota Vikings to please stand up than Monday Night Football at home with the Bears coming in, a game behind the Lions. They're 11-2. It would be so Vikings for them to lose the game. I got a little caveat for everybody for like our little play that we like. Get right, the Bears plus the points. Quarter unit, half unit, sprinkle Bears money line. There it is. There it is.
I'm
Sprinkled me, man. Sprinkle me, man.
I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to take the Dolphins, and
why are they only getting 2.5? Why?
The last I saw was 3. If you guys can check the latest for me,
it's 2.5 and 3 between the websites.
Can I buy the hook? I'll buy the hook.
I'll give you the 3.
Yeah,
it's out there.
And I get
available.
the push, by the way.
Yeah.
Let me establish
100%.
that. But all jokes, I think Miami wins that game outright. I really do. I think Miami wins that game outright.
They're playing really well.
I just don't think a lot of Houston. I just don't. Let's go back to the game against the Lions about a month ago. How the hell did they lose that game? Let's not be jokey. How the hell did they lose that game? They did absolutely nothing offensively in the second half after the Lions gifted them many opportunities in the first half. I'm not impressed by the Houston Texans at all. I think Miami wins that game outright.
And that's fair. The line is weird, dude.
Yeah.
It's weird. J19, I don't trust the Colts. Bo Nix carves them up. J19, understand the power of with and. There is no team
How
in
do
the
you
league.
explain the power of with and? You can't.
You either know it or you don't know. You either know it or you don't know it.
That's exactly it. It just is.
You're either a believer or a non-believer. And I tell you this, Week 17 of the NFL season, or Week 18, I guess it would be, right? Week 18, it's Week 18, right?
Yep.
Week 18 of the NFL season.
Yep.
May the Lord hit me with lightning. If you see the Colts graphic on there, the little horseshoe, and it says with and next to the, if it doesn't say that, I'll walk home. Which means I'll walk back to my car where it's charging.
Listen
right
to
now.
me. I'm telling you right now, Neil, I will take a screenshot and I will tweet it at you. It's going to be there. Like, you lost already. You don't even know it.
Yes.
You lost already. With and will be there.
It always is. All right, let's what do we got?
Real quick, I just want to let everybody know, fantasy-wise,
Oh.
that David Njoku, unfortunately for America's quarterback, he's out for the game.
No, Jameis is better without him.
Okay, well, then there you go. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because he'll throw the other team anyway. That's what the America's quarterback does.
He may. He may hit Amari Cooper.
I am so intrigued at this
Amari
game.
Cooper
I'm
ain't
not
there
gonna
anymore.
lie.
Yeah.
I have no right to be as excited about this game as I am. I'm so excited about this game.
I was gonna say, he's fine without Amari Cooper. He's fine without it doesn't matter.
No Cedric Tillman either. What is he going to do?
The next guy.
I need his pregame speeches, his pregame prayers. I need him talking about helmets that don't have any logos. I need all of it. I want Jameis Winston.
Jerry Jeudy could have no catches, or he could set the NFL record for receiving yards today.
Yeah.
And anything in between, he could. All right, let's do this. Let's take the break. Where are we going? Let the fans watch, everybody. And the fans can watch out at Hay Social in Shelby Township today. Easy, Spemo Racks, they'll be out there watching the game with you guys. You can let the fans watch out there. Jump in. Thousands of you watch, like thousands of you are watching right now. Thousands of you watch the game with Woodward Sports as well. Nobody else is doing this. All right? Nobody else in the city. Nobody else is doing this, but we are. Let the fans watch. And then, of course, don't forget the post-game show. Stick and Answer will also be live from Hay Social out there in Shelby as well. Nobody does football better than Woodward Sports. Sorry about it. It's just the truth.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Get energized for the holidays during the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Now through December 20th, join for $1 down, $15 a month. And recharge this holiday season and beyond in the clean and spacious judgment-free zone, filled with equipment for every workout. Stay motivated with free fitness training and lots more. Celebrate the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Join for $1 down, $15 a month. Hurry! Offer ends December 20th.
Back at it here, Woodward Sports pregame show. Neil Rule, Sean Belizean here with you. Happy to have you along for the ride. We got Peter Spivak's props parlay coming up, as a matter of fact. Easy for you to say. But no, we got Pete Spivak here. We got JB Smooth. Shout out to my guy Brady, Michigan Slappy here in the house as well. Very happy with the 7-5 season. Says it was always going to be a wash anyway. No, that was the other Michigan fan I know. Anyway, moving on. What?
Nothing.
Sorry.
I'm excited. I was already giggling about America's quarterback today.
America's quarterback.
I'm only an hour and 23 minutes away.
You are, as a matter of fact. Speaking of with and, by the way, JB Smooth showing off his eliteness.
JB, way to go. That was elite.
Should we do today and with and?
Can we do with and, please?
Okay, JB Smooth, if you would.
Now, are the Lions involved in that?
They are not, as a matter of fact.
Shout out to Bellagio.
The Vikings clinch a playoff spot with a Minnesota win or tie, or a Seattle loss, with and an or. We didn't give or its proper respect.
That's disrespectful. Fair. Let's be honest.
Okay, the Eagles clinch the NFC East with a Philadelphia win and a Washington loss or tie.
Okay.
A Philadelphia tie and a Washington loss.
Okay.
The Texans clinch a playoff spot and the AFC South with a Houston win and an Indianapolis loss. Indy's not going to let that happen.
Well, Indy's got to be involved somewhere. It might not be a direct route, but they have to be involved somewhere.
Where else? The Steelers clinch a playoff spot with a Pittsburgh win tie or an Indy loss tie and a Miami loss tie.
When you hit the trifecta, you're living right. You really are. Let's be honest.
The Packers can no longer clinch a playoff spot this week after the Rams win.
Rats. That sucks.
That's an elite segment.
That's a great segment.
That was awesome. Can we do that every week
Every
now?
week. JB Smooth.
So next week when we're back in studio before the Bears game, can we do that again?
With an and?
Yes.
100%.
Thank you. That was awesome.
No, 100% we are.
Simple pleasures, man.
No question.
Just simple people, simple pleasures. Yeah, and I'm so glad. Maybe next week we put an emphasis on or. Because we hit and
or.
With and or.
I'll make it up to or. I'll say
Johnny or. We can do that. Bobby and Johnny or.
Yeah. So no, I will definitely get that in there. Woodward Sports Chat thread, jump into there, but it is time. Mr. Peter Spivak has been doing a phenomenal job for you guys. The Pete's parlay pick. He gives you a banger, usually in that 6 to 12 to 15 to 1 realm, anywhere in beside there. He gives it to you, Peter. Where are we going today?
Well, everybody, yes, we are back for another Pete's Parlay here on Woodward Sports, brought to you, as you all know, by Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. We have a 3-leg parlay today, gentlemen. We've been kind of missing on the 4 legs the last 2 weeks, so I dropped the leg, but I upped the ante, not for what we're spending, but I went to the alternate group here for a couple of these picks. So if you go to Caesars Sportsbook app right now and open up the Lions-Bills game under the same game parlay, I'm going to take you down to a few of the alternate selections here for this three-leg parlay. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, we have Jahmyr Gibbs today. I alternated him. Yes. I alternated him to 100 yards total for his total production today. He'll be over that. I believe the original over was 86.5 or something like that. I said, oh, hell with that. You're going over.
Okay.
I altered it. I said I went.
Yeah.
No, we're alternating today. So
all the way up.
We went all the way up to 100 on Jahmyr Gibbs through the alternate. So select 100 plus for Jahmyr Gibbs as your first under both rushing and receiving. Now, the second leg of your parlay, we went to the alternate as well here. J-Mo's over under, I think, was at like 48. I said, oh, hell with that. We're going to 60 yards. We're going all the way up to 60 yards. We alternated J-Mo up to 60.
Nothing can stop Pete.
Nothing can stop J-Mo. We're running at 11 here. This is like, we're running at volume number 11 here today. And then finally, your third leg of this parlay is our good friend Sam Laporta. He's going to get in the end zone today. I'm telling you guys, he's back. His production is back. Goff's finding this guy. So there's your three-leg parlay today. Again, we're going from 4 to 3, but we're using that alternate button. So alternate Jahmyr Gibbs up to 100 total yards for the day. Alternate J-Mo up to 60 yards total receiving for the day, and you can keep Sam Laporta where he is. I believe his touchdown was on Caesars Sportsbook app. It was a plus 220 for him just to get in the end zone. So we added that plus 900 today, ladies and gentlemen. I put a $15 bet down to win you $135 at plus 900. Gentlemen, your opinions on the three-leg parlay?
If you guys have paid attention, he's hitting a lot this year, okay?
Correct.
Like that, those we're not trying to pimp up my pal, my coworker. Like, he's hit a lot this year. So, Neil, I think it's worth the venture. I really do. Pete's been on fire this year.
I just say yes.
Okay.
Sounds good. I have some news, fantasy news real quick. Kenneth Walker III, most likely not to play for Sunday Night Football. The great Breece Hall is playing today, and the great Tony Pollard is playing today as well. So
maybe open up the door for the cute little Packers. Maybe.
All I know is they cannot clinch a playoff.
They can't.
spot today.
There is no and.
There is no with. There is no
There is
and.
no
There
and.
is no or.
No.
That's all that I know as far as the Green Bay Packers.
But there you go, gentlemen. Thanks very much.
Of course. No. Thank you, Pete. Thank you. I appreciate it. Any fantasy stuff at all? You got anything?
No, because it's playoff time. So if you're not playing the players that you drafted and the players that you're getting the ball, then stop playing fantasy football. I can't help you on a playoff day. I can't help you.
I agree with you.
I just can't help you.
I like it. I absolutely like it. So, Peter, thank you very much, as
Thank you,
always.
boys.
So, but yeah, no, this is a Woodward Sports pregame show. We are live from Second Best here, 42 Watson Street. You need to make this a part of your pregame, pre-concert, whatever it is you have going on in Detroit. As always, brought to you by New Holland Brewing Company, Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, and Sabbath Coffee Roasters as well.
Can I quickly?
Yes, sir.
I forgot something. One more quick shout out. How about Teddy Bridgewater?
Yeah, I saw that.
He first-year head coach in high school, and his team wins the Florida State Championships with a defense that was outstanding. I think he held all teams that the playoff teams that they faced to only 12 points total. I think there was that they faced like 2 or 3 teams in the playoff. I don't know how the playoff system goes in Florida, but congratulations to Teddy Bridgewater, state championship for Florida in his first year as head coach.
I think that's outstanding.
No, it is very cool. Very cool. You win a state chip in Florida, you're doing something, man. There is no question about that. So, you guys ready to go into the flashback machine, the Wayback Machine?
Let's do it.
Can I take you guys back to 1994, November 24th, Thanksgiving? As a matter of fact, the Detroit Lions were on one of their Wayne Fonts runs.
Here they come.
Here they come. They were getting hot, as a matter of fact, and the Buffalo Bills came into town. And, they were still the 90s Bills, right? Like, they were still those guys. They absolutely were. And the Detroit Lions got the win 35-21. But, Sean, it was Wayne Fonts, man. There's nothing else that needs to be said.
I remember that only because, like, you just expected the Buffalo Bills were going to get right, because at that point in time, Neil, they had been to 4 straight Super Bowls. And yet at the same time, I can speak for me, I won't say we still believe that the Lions, there was still some magic to be left. It had been 3 years since that magical 91 season, but maybe, just maybe, there was a little magic left. And you know what they did? They were the ultimate tease. They really were. They were the ultimate tease because they knocked off the Bills that day and did it in convincing fashion. So I remember about that, like literally sitting there going, I'm all in again. Here we are.
Here we are.
I've been on this ride before. I'm all in again because they just knocked off the K-Gun and the Buffalo Bills. And we
on a day where Dave Craig threw for 351 yards and 3 touchdowns, on a day where Herman Moore had 7 targets with 7 catches for 169 and a touchdown. The great Aubrey Matthews, 55 yards and a touchdown as well. I mean, it was on brand. Brett Perriman, 5 catches, 65 and a touchdown. That was Lions football in the mid-90s.
Big play, Willie Clay with the big interception late in the game, right? And the funny thing about that, Neil, I mean, think about this in today's NFL. So they took their quarterbacks from the year before, okay? They had 3 quarterbacks from the year before. Rodney Peete, Eric Kramer, and Andre Ware, and got rid of all 3 of them.
Yes.
Who does that? What franchise does that? And that's exactly what the Lions did. They went out and got Scott Mitchell. They went out and got Dave Craig, and people forget they got former first-round draft choice Chuck Long back that year,
they
too.
Did.
I mean, that's the crazy thing about it. But, yeah, I bought in. When they beat the Bills that Thanksgiving, I remember it. Gosh, it's incredible. That was 30 years ago. I remember playing as 35-21. 35-21.
Woodward Sports chat thread, jump into their, wow, Dave Craig, forgot about Dave Craig. And the reason that I brought this one up, Sean, they're kind of similar vibes to some degree,
sure,
aren't they?
Yeah.
With that game that day, with this game here, like, yeah, the Lions have won some games, and they're putting stuff together. But this is the Buffalo Bills and Jim Kelly, and it's kind of the same, isn't it?
No, it is. And I mean, that was another era that okay, eventually the Bills are going to pay off. Eventually the Bills are going to pan off. And if you look at it, each Super Bowl trip was almost more humiliating when you think about it. I mean, it was, okay, we lost on the last second field goal, and then we got pounded by the Redskins, and then we really got pounded by the Cowboys. And then the next year, what people forget is they dominated the first half. They dominated that first half of that second Super Bowl against Dallas. And then Dallas just steamrolled them in the second half. I mean, it was I think outscored them 27-0 or something like that. So, you again, guys, the moment doesn't last as long as we in our minds think it will. The Lions have to make their hay, man.
No, and that is it. And I like a lot of the reasons that you laid out as well. As we kind of get to the back stretch here of the show and lay things out. I think that, again, just the acceptance of everyone to say that this is going to be a 38-31, 38-35 game, that it just makes me go the other way, Sean. It does. And I do think that the Lions will control the football game. I think that they'll control it. I think they'll control it on the ground. I love Pete's, breakdown of it, the Gibbs 100 all-purpose yards and stuff like that. I just don't think that this is going to be the quote-unquote aerial show, at least from the Lions' perspective.
Sure.
Maybe it will be from the Bills, but I do think that the Lions, this is going to be a game, going back to it, where if they go out there and do what I think that they're going to do, all that does is brick you up more.
Right.
Like that's all. If they go out there and they sun Buffalo and they run for 205, 225 yards and do what they want on the ground, who's got anything to say after that?
This could easily be a 28-24 game, and that's why I said it earlier. I'm going on 31-27 Lions. I could take a field goal away from both of them, and that's why I wouldn't touch that 54.5. I think that's what the number is now, Pete.
Yeah, it's 54.5. It's a tough over.
I wouldn't touch that 54.5. I think we all have a tendency, especially based on what happened last week with the Bills and the Rams, but I'm going 31-27, but that's too close for my comfort. I wouldn't touch it. I really wouldn't.
Woodward Sports chat thread, Zach Soap. Neil, what games you looking forward to today? Do you have a low-key favorite? I'm all in on tomorrow night, Bears-Vikings. I think the real Minnesota Vikings do stand up. I do. And they will lose that, and then once they do, they are launched out into the abyss. That is when Jack gets let go and he sinks to the bottom of the ocean. Like, it's over.
That's the best scene of that movie, by the way.
It's over after
That's the best scene of that movie.
What?
We've all been there, right? I mean, who hasn't been there with their significant other saying, don't worry, honey, I'll sink to the bottom of the ocean to save your ass. I'd flip that thing over so fast. Swim, woman, swim.
Every man for himself.
That's right. This is why we're higher on the chain, baby.
We're talking death.
Start swimming.
JB, I got to get with the social crew. When the Vikings lose that game, I need it. I need the Vikings logo over top of Leo DiCaprio's head, and just letting go, and that sinking to the bottom of the ocean.
Sinking to the bottom. I think we can pull that off.
NFC North chances. Yep, just over, because it will definitely be over. Wait for a reel, by the way, when the Vikings lose that game. It'll be a reel of epic proportions. Everybody.
I'll never let go. Oh, yes, you will.
Yes, you will.
You're done.
Marked Royal, Vikings not losing to the Bears. You must not be familiar with the Vikings game. You must not be familiar. If it were obvious, everybody would be saying it.
100%.
The fact that no one gives it a chance only secures.
Bears are so bad. They're so shot. But here's the worst part. I can't argue with you. That's the worst part, and I won't argue with you. That screams I'm not getting anywhere near it. That, for me, personally, that screams I'm going to sit back and enjoy that crap.
No, okay. Sean, you're an old man yelling at the clouds.
Yes.
We've been told that today.
Yes.
Thoughts on the black unis?
I can't stand them. I said it day one. Do you want me to lie?
I
love them. I love them. They're the best. They're so hype and dope. Listen, we're at the point right now. We're at the point right now. If we're being honest, they could run out there, Neil, in peach uniforms with pink polka dots all over them, and we're so slapdick crazy about this team right now. Yeah,
the apricots,
hype and dope. Yo, I mean, we would say anything. We would say anything is great. Like, honestly, that's where we're at, right? I don't like them, and part of it is I openly admit it. Part of it is it takes me back to a very dark place. It takes me back to Mike Williams with Pringle and Cheeto stains all over his jersey. It takes me back to a dark place. I don't like them. If you like them, great. But I think it's so funny because Lion fans get very agitated if you don't like them. I don't know what to tell you. I don't like them. And if you're being honest with yourself, they could throw anybody out there right now. The Lions are as hot as any team I've seen in this area in my lifetime. You could put them in anything right now, and Lion fans would go, "That's dope, yo." I mean, that's the reality of it.
I like them. I'm sorry. I like them a lot. I need Panay with the blacked out visor though on the helmet. That's what I need.
There you go.
It only works if someone has a black visor. That's the only way it works.
Okay.
To me, that's the only way it works. How you see it shaking out, Sean?
I think it's going to be closer than we all think. I don't think the Lions are going to run away and hide from the Bills. I don't think the Bills will let that happen. I think that highly of Josh Allen, that I think he's going to be able to keep it close. I just think the Lions have too much on offense, and I think the Bills have too little on defense. I really think that these running backs are going to have their way, both running the ball and from the attack. Neil, I'm going to stick 31-27 in that neighborhood, which, again, makes it too close for me to say emphatically bet the over. 31-27, 28-24, something like that. We're going to have to sweat it out, though. I have, seriously, Tip of the cap respect for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills.
Jesus B in the chat. 21-34 Bills. Well, your comment doesn't apply because you said the lower score first. If you do that, your comment is immediately deleted.
That's like 9-year-old girl stuff.
Yeah.
Who's that guy? Like, Jesus, that's what my 9-year-old daughter did. Honey, who won the game? Tigers 3-8. No, nobody says that.
Stephen Baffy, Bill Schmills, okay? They are not the team people think they are. They're about to get exposed. This game is not as close as people think it will be. All right, Sean, as we ride off, are we making too much of the Bills?
No. That's almost like somebody saying you're making too much of the Lions. They've had so much success the last few years. How is it possible to make that much of the Bills? It's one thing if you have that exception year. The Minnesota Vikings, like all jokes aside, I get the questions. If you're questioning them next year when they're sitting in the same spot, well, that's a you problem.
Correct.
That's no longer a Viking problem. So I would say the same thing about the Buffalo Bills. Where they falter is the playoff. That's where they have to make their hay. But if you've done this multiple years in a row, well, that's your fault if you think they're a fraud.
And that's where we are too, Sean, right? Like, I think the Bills and the Ravens are the same. Literally the Spider-Man meme. Like, I think they're the same. The only thing that they can do is win the Super Bowl. That's it. Anything else is it's the same old Ravens, it's the same old Bills, it's the same old Josh Allen, same old Lamar. That like every team is at a different exit on the highway.
Sure.
You know, you got the Chiefs. You know, they got a full tank of gas. The car's packed. They get to do what they want. If they want to stop and go see the world's greatest lint ball, they can do it. They have time like that.
The mystery spot.
Yeah, the mystery spot. You know, the latitude line. They can do. They can do all that stuff, and it doesn't matter. They're on their own clock. They're in there. So,
all right, what are you thinking?
It's just like I think it's going to be on brand for the Lions, right? Like they're at the end of the game, it'll be right there. And then they'll make the plays to win because it's their identity, man. It's what they do. And going back to Steve Bellagio and choking and stuff like that, like no, like I am to the point now where all season long, especially last week, more than any other week, if we have the football, and I'll back this up, and this is going to be wild. If Jared Goff has the football with a chance to win the game is over. The game is over. The Lions will win. And I don't care where it is on the field, or they're on their own too with 8 seconds and no timeout. That's a little different. I'm saying if they get the football and it's up to the Lions, they win and you lose. And you probably won't get it back.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing for me is if the Lions have the football with 5 minutes to go, the Bills will not get the football again. And they do it, Sean. They do it. Yes.
Right.
And Sean, this is why they're good. Through all this and all the bullshit today and everything, and the ha-ha, the he-he, the with and, or all of it. Through it all, here's what it boils down to. The Lions have the football for the last 4 minutes of the first half and the last 4 minutes of the game. You don't get the football. You want the football. You don't get the football. And that's why they're good now. I got no other explanations for you.
It's almost like Dan Campbell plans that out or something, Neil.
It's just
he's just a meathead. That's right. I'm sorry. He's just a meathead.
That's it.
No, I'm so tired of this. If we have to use that same kind of logic about the opposition, why is it so hard for people to understand? I know you desire to be right. Why don't you just accept what's happened for a long time now for the Lions? Like, this is a long string. This is no longer a small sample size. This is
what they are. It's what they are.
This is what they are. This is a trend now, folks, for a long time. We're going on 2 years of them winning football games.
Peter, real quick before we cut out of here.
Yes,
somebody asked in the chat, the chosen one, did I miss Pete's parlay? Give it to it. You got it for him real quick?
Let me get it back up for you guys. Hang on real quick.
Jahmyr Gibbs over 100 all-purpose.
Yeah, we got Jahmyr Gibbs at go to your Caesar Sportsbook app. Go to the alternate section. We got Jahmyr Gibbs at 100-plus total production for alternate receiving and for rushing. We have alternated Jamo Williams to 60 yards total today for receiving, and we have Sam Laporta getting in the end zone. That 3-leg parlay at plus 900, $15 pays you $135.
There you have it.
There you go.
And if you want to get designer, throw on a Josh Allen interception.
Throw on a, might as well.
If you want to get designer with it, you can do that.
Why not? I agree. Play some David Montgomery in there, too.
Good job, friend.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I'll see you tomorrow, right?
We'll be out. Feldman Chevrolet in Novi. That'll wrap things
I
up
need a
from
dip.
here. We're about 4.5 hours away. I tell you guys this. When the Lions win this game, everything changes, and we don't even know it. I'm telling you this. We don't even know it.
Right.
I don't think that we fully comprehend how things are going to change. But they are.
I love it.
But they are.
No and/or. No, a
No
little,
and/or.
maybe a little.
Yeah.
Just to get to that clinching point
Yeah,
where we
yeah,
have
where
home
you get
field
the one
advantage.
seed. Yeah, you can have with an and for the one seed.
Yes.
Because that'll stretch to like
That's
week 17.
acceptable. Yeah, exactly.
With and or. For Sean Belize and for Pete Spivak, for JB Smoove, for Chris Brady. Chase is out here as well.
Thanks,
And,
Chase.
yeah,
Great
shout out
Chase.
second best. Get down here, you guys. This is an elite spot. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you check out the watch party coming up during the game live at Hayes Social. Well, go Lions, and see you later.